Good morning. Morning. What's up, everyone? Make sure everything's working here. Wow, that's great, Amen. That's something I've always wanted to do. Airbnb. Anyone here Airbnb their homes or an investment home or anything like that? Good audio. That's good. Anyone anyone do an Airbnbs? I feel like it's such a great thing to have. Morning. Did in the past. From the car office. How's that work? Yeah, I mean, if you have a house, right? If you have a house and it's being rented out a significant part of the month, I mean, you're definitely paying your mortgage and then some. It's a pretty great business, I think. Maybe one day. Yeah, it is a little bit more difficult to get an investment property. You have to, if it's not your primary residence, the loans are usually higher. So it's probably better to be able to save up and pay for that kind of house cash. So once you can do that, 6-figure Airbnb host for 3 years. Wow, that's great. Yeah, it's a great business if you can get into it. I know it's a little capital intensive, but once you can do it, it's pretty nice. But all right, yeah, it's not good in all places. I agree. It's probably in high tourist areas, where people want to visit. It's probably the best places. All right, guys. So good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back to everyone. Hopefully everyone's having a good morning. Hopefully everyone had a good day yesterday. It was sort of, there's like one opportunity yesterday, right? That's what it felt like. I felt like there was one decent opportunity yesterday. It was that breakdown intraday, and besides that, it was a disaster. And I mean, that's sort of what we've seen lately. You get that one shot. If you miss it, you just got to have, you got to be disciplined enough to just be like, okay, that was probably my shot there. It's probably time to walk away. So there was a nice downside scalp yesterday. I posted a trade on it yesterday, and on YouTube, if you guys want to check that out, I have a live recording there. It was really quick, so the live recording is only like 2 minutes long. So unfortunately, it's not much content on that side, but I went through the trade, sort of analyzed it. If you guys want to check that out, that was my video yesterday. Today, we have major economic data. So some big economic data. Yeah, the shop 40 rejection was nice, Zach. I actually take that back. There was another good trade yesterday. The other one was this absolutely perfect shop 40 rejection. Just absolutely to the T. I mean, congrats. I know some of you guys in the Discord actually caught this. That was badass. I missed this one. But this was sweet. So congrats on the shop 40. That was really nice. All right, so today we have some major economic news. The market's still pretty much where it was yesterday. I know it's a little bit to the downside from yesterday, but it's not that much off yesterday's open. So again, just another nothing day in anticipation of the economic data today and tomorrow. Chef trying to spot on. Yeah, Chef. NASDAQ, some of these, when the markets, actually, we did sort of call that perfectly, didn't we? Now that I look at it. We called that 20 SMA. I don't know if you remember that. We said maybe it breaks that level, but if it does break that level, watch for the 20 SMA. Yeah, look at that 20 SMA yesterday on the NASDAQ. Very nice. So we will we'll go over our futures, our economic and earnings calendar, but I think today the economic calendar is going to run the show. I don't think anything else is quite as important as the economic calendar today. I don't think you'll have any earnings that'll run the move. There's nothing else really going on besides this economic calendar. So let's go ahead and pull that up. Let's get a good idea of what we need to expect today. Some of it's going to be here in the pre-market. Some of it's going to be intraday. So if we can get some, actual price action today, that would be great. But we also need to be careful trading through these events, right? So yesterday, here's sort of how this looks, right? Yesterday we had consumer confidence at 10 a.m., right? So let's go to the 1-minute chart on NASDAQ at 10 a.m. yesterday, and let's just look at what happened. So here is yesterday, and right here is 10 a.m., right? See this green candle to the upside, a nice big push. Now, to an experienced trader, right, maybe, they are okay holding through an event like this because maybe they see a pop like this, but they say, okay, trend's still down. I'm not worried about this pop, right? I think we're still below the previous highs. If I'm in puts, I'm going to stay in. Maybe a trader will say that he's not worried about this big push. An experienced trader can usually get through something like that. But I'm here. I try to talk to maybe newer traders that are just starting to trade, that are maybe not as strong with their emotions, not as strong as their, with their conviction. If you were holding a put, right? Let's say you're holding a put, maybe you bought a put down here, right? You saw maybe this break and retest right here. You bought a put right there, right? You bought a put here, looking for downside, looking for the low day flush. So let's say you're in your put here and you don't know about your economic data, or you do know about the economic data, but you're just saying, I'm going to hold through it. I don't care. Right? This type of move, which was a pretty aggressive move at the time, would usually stop someone out. Right? This will stop you out, and it'll just get you all worked up. So this is why I say be careful holding through these economic data events, because maybe you're overall right, because if you did hold your put, of course, you would have been in the money, but you have these pushes, you have these volatility spikes during these events, and most of the time, as a new trader, those volatility spikes will stop you out or will get you all worked up, and it's really not a good thing to get yourself involved in. So just be careful when we have these economic data events that approach, because they're just very hard to hold things through. It's not fun to be holding through these events. So I'd recommend being cash into the events when they come out, and then seeing if there's a continuation move, and then you can trade it, right? So today in the pre-market, in about, what is that? That's about 7 minutes. 8:15 ADP employment report, right? That's big. We're going to see what happens there. Very nice. ADP employment report. 8:30 real GDP, same thing, real gross domestic income. So let's watch out for that. Gross domestic income, GDP, domestic final sales. I don't really know exactly how the final sales number affects us, but I do know that these two do. 8:30. That it will be in the pre-market today. So in about, what is that? That is in, what time is it? 8:10, 22 minutes. Chicago PMI, job openings, job quits, pending home sales, Fed Chair Jerome Powell speaking. So a lot of stuff coming out here today, right? A lot of stuff. This one I am not, I've been sort of researching about this Brookings Institution, what he's going to talk about on this at this event. I don't think you're going to hear anything new, right? I'm not expecting new things being talked about here at 1:30, but we can't underestimate the market moving on this type of event when Jerome Powell speaks, because we all know how the market reacts when Jerome Powell starts opening his mouth. So I'm going to just play it safe around 1:30. I'm not sure this would be like a FOMC speech type of movement. I'm not sure whether let's say that we get a big downside move this morning. I don't think that this would cause the market to recover and move higher. I'm not sure whether this is really the big move today. I think the more important stuff is this employment report and the GDP. I think those are the big ones. And then also the job openings, job quits. Those are my biggest ones to pay attention to today. So these two at 10, and then all this here at 8:30 and 8:15. That's the big stuff to pay attention to. All right. But I mean, Jerome Powell, you can't underestimate it, of course. Apple. So Apple finally flushed that key level. I don't know if you guys saw that yesterday. If you were watching the market intraday, Apple had some fake news, I guess. I mean, someone in the chat told me that it popped up on Bloomberg and then it was taken off Bloomberg. It was about China easing their COVID restrictions. And that is obviously bullish for Apple because that's sort of the whole reason Apple's getting hit is because of the COVID restrictions in China. So there was a news article that dropped, and it even got alerted in my bot, in a news bot, that the COVID restrictions were being eased. And then like 5 minutes later, it got removed, and then the stock just dropped. So I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but I think Apple was a big reason why the market started to slip intraday yesterday. And we'll take a look at that today. Tesla, pretty much sideways, but some key levels to watch. Boeing with the perfect break and retest. I traded Boeing yesterday to the upside. I didn't have the confidence to hold it, so I did take a little bit of a scalp, but damn do I wish I had confidence to hold Boeing. The break and retest was perfect. I'm shocked to see Boeing moving higher with a pretty flat market, but Boeing was really, really nice and is up pretty big in the pre-market today. I'm going to share that with you guys today. Microsoft 240 still holding, Meta still holding 108, NVIDIA, AMD, some key levels to watch there. And then good old Enphase. Good old Enphase is starting to get a little bit interesting here. I don't know if you guys saw Enphase yesterday, but Enphase had a nice rejection off that 325, the same level we were talking about. And this is getting interesting to me. So I want to share that with you guys as well. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll get started. We'll have ADP appointment report at 8:15. So I'm going to just try my best to remember that. That's in about 3 minutes. So we'll see the movement there. So we're going to have a lot of interruptions today on the live stream with economic data. So just be aware of that. All right. So we were talking about this key level on the NASDAQ around this 11,530, 11,525, right? We talked about this yesterday. We said if we flush this level, we'll probably see some downside, but we need to be aware of the 20 SMA. This is, verbatim what we said on the live stream yesterday. Let's look to see if we flush. If we flush, watch the 20 SMA. It is possible that could hold the market higher. And it looks as though that's exactly what we got. So you can see we did get a very aggressive flush under 11,530. You can see right around this general area, we got that a very aggressive flush. We flushed the other day. This was off the Apple news. Flushed this key level and got that very aggressive drop. Now, that drop literally got stopped in its tracks right at the 20 SMA. So this is clearly a level to be in focus, right? We definitely need to be watching this 20 SMA here on the NASDAQ. As of right now, that's around 11,465, 11,475, 11,480, all in this general area. That seems as though to be, a pretty damn important level here. So you guys can see 20 SMA on the NASDAQ. We broke those lows. We're back above them. So here's the question, right? How much can we believe in this little 11,530 level? It seems like it was somewhat respected. You did get a little flush below it. But you can see that it's the 20 SMA looks to be the most important level here. So let's watch that 20 SMA on the NASDAQ. We'll have to see how this market moves in about 1 minute. And then to the upside, it's still this 100 SMA. It's still this 12,000 area. It's just a sideways move. And I hope that I can give you a little bit more insight in about 30 seconds here. Monthly subs. No, it's whenever you sign up, FPL. Florida Power and Light. FPL is the energy provider where I live. But yeah, whenever you start is where it starts. So we got about 15 seconds. Let's quickly jump over to the ES. That 20 SMA looks big. And then also on the ES, guys, again, nothing to really report here. Well, same thing as yesterday. Sideways, no movement, a little bit of downside, got bought back up, still above these key levels. And we're off. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what we get. So a little bit of a pop here. let's see how much that actually moves. So ADP employment report. Let me get that pulled up. Okay, ADP National Employment Report shows U.S. employment increased by 127 private sector jobs in November. So an increase in jobs is not great. Oh, that's actually a very large decrease. Okay, this is actually bullish. So this is bullish. You have a very large decrease in employment. Only 127. The estimated was 200K. So that is technically bullish. If all things are the same, right? And I mean, I try my best to understand why the market moves off these moves, right? That all we can do is try our best because you never know sometimes. But as I've seen lately, if I can take one thing, if there's one thing that's consistent, it's that anything with the jobs market, if it's lower, it's bullish. We need a slower jobs market. That is the overall trend. If a slower jobs market is what the market has liked to see. So unless things change on me, that's usually what we see. 127,000 versus an estimated 200K. I would take that as a bullish sentiment. If this number was higher, then I think you'd be straight down right now. So we'll see if there's any real movement off of it. You know, it's nothing right now. Nothing really going on. But that is technically a bullish report, in my opinion, for ADP employment change. So that's something to watch. Let's see what the dollar did there. Dollar dropped off that. What did the TLT do? Nothing really in the pre-market. So, yeah, I mean, the dollar dropped a little bit off that. Nothing crazy. NASDAQ, slightly higher, slightly elevated. So, yeah, I mean, as of right now, I think that's a bullish report for now. So we'll see. That's step one. There's many more steps here today. That's step one, ADP employment report. We'll see how it holds up. So back to the 4-hour chart on the NASDAQ. You guys can see, I think it's all about this 20 SMA. And it's so choppy here on the NASDAQ, right? Like, there's not a single high that I believe in more than the other, right? You can see there's so many levels here. We really need to draw out this zone more than anything. It's more of a zone here. All right, hold on. We got some more data coming in. ADP report, annual pay up 7.6%. Data suggests Fed tightening having impact on job creation. That's sort of bullish there, like that. Data suggests Fed tightening is having an impact on job creation. That's good. That's what you need to see. Companies no longer in hyper replacement mode. Job creation slowed by most since January 2021. Data suggests Fed tightening having an impact on job creation. I think that's a very key takeaway there. All right. So as of right now, I would expect the market to try to hold up here. We'll see how it actually moves. But that is technically bullish in my opinion. So NASDAQ's really messy. It has been, right? There's not a key level here. There's like a whole zone, right? You can see you can probably draw out this zone here, and you probably want to include this 20 SMA. That's probably how I would draw this out, guys. I'd probably have a line at the 20 SMA. I'd have a line at these previous lows, and I would just sort of monitor to see how it does in between this zone. I think anywhere in between this zone is fair game, right? Between around 480 and 560, this 100-point range, very difficult to read, right? You can see there's a bunch of chop all over the place. Previous highs, previous lows, nothing really very distinct. So we're really going to have to watch this 20 SMA and see how it works off that with the obvious rejections up there at the 100. ES, it's pretty much the same. The ES is a little bit more distinct as to where it's holding. You can see these previous highs here that turned into a low. That is really your key level, right? Around this 39.10, 39.20. You can see we haven't really pushed down to that level yet. We've continued to hold that level. So you can see the ES is still sort of holding up. You can see we're sort of holding this 39.50 area, these previous lows right here. We had these previous lows around 39.40, 39.50 that it seems as though the ES is attempting to hold. You can see all these previous lows here, and it's holding once again. So let's watch that. You got the 20 and 50 down below. That's support as well. Do we just trade in this channel again? Do we see upside off the news? Do we see downside off the 200 SMA? How long do we trade in this channel? As long as we trade in this channel, I just don't think it's optimal trading time, guys. The only other trade that I could see that could be sort of nice due to the fact that we are down at the demand is a upside move, right? The margin for upside could be nice, right? You could get a nice risk to reward here, maybe risking these lows with a reward up to the highs. Maybe there's a nice risk to reward play off the demand. We'll see if there's any kind of price action today to warrant that type of move. But that's really all I see right now. Maybe a demand low, a channel low hold here. We'll see if there's an upside move today. But besides that, we are continuing to be in a channel on the ES. We got more economic data in about 10 minutes. Dow Jones pretty much did exactly as expected. It held on to this previous high. You guys can see right here. We talked about this previous high yesterday around this 33.8. We talked about these previous rejection points, and you can see exactly where we held yesterday. So that's, again, the same level. We talked about this. I don't change these levels. So this is exactly what we drew out yesterday. So very nice rejections here. Turned them into support here yesterday. You're continuing to hold above it. So we're just going to have to watch this 33.8. That's our level here on the Dow. The rejections seem to be coming in. It's right in the general area of the previous lows here, 34,000, really. 34,000 looks to be the key rejection point here, right? So here is 34,000. You guys can see 34,000 rejections, and then you got your 33.8 support. So you are stuck in a little 200-point range here on the Dow. Now we just have to wait and see which way this wants to go, right? You can't try to guess what happens here. We got to wait to see which direction this Dow wants to push in either direction. So 34,000, 33.8, those are the things I would be watching. I think the Russell had a strong morning, but then just died out. Russell, same exact thing. Nothing has changed. All these charts, nothing has changed. Again, 1840, same level, 20 SMA, still holding this little demand here. Nothing to update you guys on that. So NASDAQ, ES, all the same, still in a channel, still doing nothing. We hope to see some type of movement off this economic data in 8 minutes. Apple. So Apple broke its key level yesterday, and that definitely caused some intraday reaction. So if I put out this line here, this was around the lows of the of what is this? This is the 11th of November. If I go into the 5-minute chart, you can see we actually perfectly did a break and retest of this level yesterday. Look how clean this was, right? You can see previous lows into a rejection right here early morning yesterday on Apple. That was pretty much perfect. So if I go to the 1-hour chart once again, just to again show you what happened here, here's the previous lows, right? You can see right here the low of this candle is 1437. 144.37 right here. That's the low of this candle. If I go into the 1-minute chart, you will see 144.37. Absolutely perfect rejection of that level. Textbook, right? Textbook rejection of the previous low. These levels show up all the time. So very nice there. You can see this intraday move to the downside was news related. I'm not sure exactly the whole deal with what's going on here. Obviously Apple's being influenced by these COVID restrictions in China. So just be careful about that. But it is weak right now because of that. And this was the move you got after some news was released. You got a very aggressive downside move, which triggered the downside on the ES and NASDAQ. So watch out for that. Next level on Apple to be aware of. I would love to see it maybe come back down to 134 because I would definitely be a buyer down there, I think. I would definitely pick up some more shares down here at 134, right, in this general area. That could be where Apple leads to if we do see a weak market. But if we see a strong market, you might try to hold this 141 area. This is a previous high right here. So this is actually a break and retest from the CPI numbers. You guys can see right in this general area. It's not perfect, but it's a general zone where we previously rejected around this 141. You guys can see previous rejection, break, retest. Do we hold this 141 today? Only way we hold this 141 is if the market finds strength today. If it does, you might be able to get a play off that 141. If it does not, and we flush this level, then I think you're coming back to the 134. So 141, 134. If you have a strong market, 141 might be a little bit of a short-term demand hold. Tesla. I'm impressed by Tesla, and I'm not saying this because I am very bullish on Tesla long term, but you have to understand what's going on here in Tesla. I think some people probably see it, some people probably don't. This is a relative outperformance on Tesla lately, and it's right. We've seen Tesla be an absolute piece of you know what, and lately it's been holding up very well. So I do not want to lose sight of that. I don't want to lose sight of Tesla sort of holding up here, because is there an opportunity approaching on Tesla? I am very interested in that. I think Tesla's a stock where if you can catch a stock like Tesla oversold, and if you can get in before there's any type of sort of ignition behind this stock, you can make a ton of money. So I don't think it's foolish to be trying to look to see is there some opportunity here on Tesla back to the upside. It's been very sold. It's been very weak. If we get any type of upside on the market, I want to be in Tesla before things start to ignite here. So we'll see. I mean, I don't want to get too ahead of it. Obviously, I don't want to get chopped up, which I am a little bit. I have some January calls for those who aren't aware. I took some longer dated calls here on Tesla. I'm probably risking about $600-700 on this trade. Nothing that's it's pretty comfortable for my portfolio personally. Obviously, there's some that's not, but I'm risking. I think I have my stop under this 178, 180 area. This is a level I'm watching to make sure it holds above. But I definitely want to be. In Tesla, because there will be a time where the whole Elon short term, all the weakness that the stock is having because of Twitter and all the concerns about Elon being sidetracked and all this nonsense that has nothing to do with Tesla stock, there will be a time that gets forgotten about. I can almost guarantee that. It's about the people that understand that Twitter does not affect Tesla's business. There's no effect. Right? And that's why the Tesla stock has been so weak lately. It's just been a lot of headlines in the news. So I want to be a part of this. I know, obviously, I'm a little biased here. So, I'm just being myself. If you don't like what I'm saying, then, so be it, right? It's okay. I'm not gonna be upset if you don't agree with me. But to me, I sort of believe that there is an opportunity here. Short-term downside off of emotion is always opportunity, in my opinion. That is like one of the big things I really agree or really try to pay attention to in the market, because long term, it is not important. Short term emotions and short term movements are not important on the long term. So you guys can see here, I'm watching this channel like a hawk. I want to see Tesla break 188.50. If Tesla breaks 188.50, I think you're going to see a squeeze here, probably up to around 200, 203. That would be my idea. If it breaks 178, then you're probably moving back to the downside. So either way, I think there will be a trade. I will be open to trading either side here, but I definitely want to be focusing on Tesla because it's sort of been in the background, and there will be a time. So watching 178 to 188.50, keeping an eye on the movement here. There's a very distinct channel here, and there will be a break of either side, and that will be money. I can guarantee there will be money to be made outside of that channel. Boeing, 4-hour chart. Absolutely. I want to use bad words right now, but I'm going to hold off. Just perfect. Just absolutely perfect. It was great. I took some off of it yesterday. Here it is, right? We called this out in the Discord. We called this out in the live stream. Boeing back at the retest of 171. An absolute killer trade. You have the previous rejections here that turned into support, and a fantastic move off of that level today. You can see it right here. You got the previous rejections here into support, and an absolutely awesome move to the upside. So congratulations to anyone that took this. This was sick. Perfect 171 demand. and just a great break and retest and continuation. Watch out for the highs. If Boeing breaks this triple top high, you might be able to get more, right? You might be able to get more here. But awesome break and retest on Boeing. Very, very clean. Keep an eye on this one. That is a very nice level to be playing it off of. All right, 8:30. What are we getting here? We might get the flip. Let's see. Let's see if we flip here. GDP 2.9. GDP 2.9. What was the expectation? It was 2.7. So GDP is higher than expected. That I would assume is bullish, but the market's not liking that. So, okay. I guess GDP being better is worse. We'll see how that works out. I mean, nothing crazy right now. A little bit of a drop back to where we started, really. In what world is a higher GDP bearish? I mean, I guess in this world it is. I mean, bearish reaction off good GDP. Interesting. I'm not sure whether, I don't know. I mean, if that GDP number was, I guess, but what is the market? I feel like GDP should be, I feel like GDP shouldn't be, an inverse. I get the jobs market, right? I get if the jobs market's slowing, it's bullish for the market, but GDP is that type of number where it seems like it should be bullish. It should be 1-to-1 there. I mean, I would assume if GDP was lower, the market would go down. It's very, very strange, guys. That's why I don't try to predict these things. We could all go back and forth in the live stream pretending like we know what's going on. And you have to be honest with yourself. You do not, right? We do not know why there is direct movements on this market. One move to the downside, the next minute it goes straight up. We just have to watch. We have to watch. We have to react. We have to understand, what the price action looks like. What's the movement? Let's trade the momentum because, it's a little bit down, but I don't really see much movement on it. So as of right now, it seems flat to me. Mental acrobats. Yeah, pretty much. I say you sort of zone it out and you just trade what the movement does. That's what I would pay attention to. I mean, it's not very bearish to where it's like really breaking down, but it is sort of weak, right? So a little bit of downside. Nothing crazy right now. Let's go ES. Nothing crazy there. A little bit getting bought up now. Yeah, just nothing really. So again, nothing quite giving us the movement we need. So as of right now, it seems the next thing is going to be 10 a.m. 10 a.m. job openings, job quits, right? That's really the next thing we got to watch out for. Because right now, we're still not seeing a conviction in either direction. All right. So Boeing was sweet. Let's go Microsoft. Microsoft off 240 could definitely be a watch today, guys. This is definitely going to be on my watch. Yeah. I'm definitely going to watch this today. If we get any type of movement to the upside on the market, I will be all about this risk to reward trade, right? I don't care if you're bearish. I don't care if you're bullish. I care about risk to reward. If I see any type of upside on the market, if I see any type of, movement, willingness to move higher, if I see anything like that, I will be watching. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I don't want that. That is the incorrect color. I will be watching this trade here. Okay, this is risk to reward. I'm willing to take this even if I'm wrong. 240 has held as demand multiple times. It held it again yesterday. I'm going to look to see if there's any willingness to move higher on the market today. If, let's say, job openings, job quits helps us move higher, or, we move higher off Jerome, I'm going to be looking for this trade. Even if we break down, I think it's a good risk to reward. 240, very nice. That doesn't mean I'm buying it at open, right? That does not mean that. But what it means is I'm going to watch 240. I'm going to see if we can build demand here again. And if we can, you got yourself a nice channel low demand hold. And that has happened multiple times. We'll see if it happens again. Going to be watching that. Meta, another one that's interesting, holding this 108. You guys can see Meta has continued to sort of hold this 108 area. It did it on Monday. It did it yesterday on Tuesday. And we're still above it today. So is there any chance of Meta breaking this downtrend off this 108? That is something I will be watching because there is an opportunity here. Or on the flip side, do we get the flush of 108 and do we start to get the downside here? Either way, I think Meta is due for a move here, right? You're sort of channeling sideways, and I would watch to see either the downtrend break or the 108 flush. I think there's going to be opportunity there. NVIDIA, really not doing much. It's coming back down to that uptrend. So I would recommend watching NVIDIA as it comes down to this uptrend. So right here, guys, you can see the 20 SMA is starting to approach. The uptrend starting to get here. And you have these lows around this 152 area, which I think are important. So watch out for these 152 lows. But again, just a pretty nothing move yesterday. But the longer, if we start to trade down to this downtrend a little bit, I want to see if there's any type of trade off this, right? I'm going to be watching this uptrend on the 4-hour chart. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the 20 SMA. The 100 SMA is down here around 152. That could also be a support area to watch out for. Okay. AMD, same thing, right? Can AMD push off 72? Right? We came back down to this demand around 72. We got a little push off of it yesterday, nothing serious. So if we can get an actual move to 72, I would like this a little bit more. I don't love trying to play it here a little bit suspended over 72. I would rather see it down here, maybe doing some support at the 72 level. So we could still see that push down to 72. If the market is strong, then I would play this as if it's bouncing off the channel low, right? You could probably see another push to 77. That's if there's a strong market. Weak market, you're probably coming back to 72, and then you have to watch this for a potential flush, right? This could be a big flush under 72 as well. So key level there on AMD, 72, 77. What else can I go over? Let's go over some more tech names. Amazon, I know you guys want to see some tech names, so I'll just go flip through them. Amazon, you guys can see here, very nice previous rejections. It's still holding that support at 92.40. Keep an eye on this 92.40 level on Amazon. If you break this, you're moving to the downside. Google's been very weak, sort of been stuck in a channel. This is very similar to Tesla here, but it has continued to find demand off that 94. So look at these two candles on Google. This candle right here, and then this candle right here. Very big pushes off that 94.50 area. So you got a big push here off 94.50, big push here off 94.50. So this channel low is still very much intact. That also has the 20 SMA there as well. So 94.50, and then on the upside 100. It's about a 6-point channel to watch out for. All right. Yeah, Home Depot was a great pullback. If you guys caught the rejection of 330, that was very clean. Congratulations. You're back at the 316 level. I tried to trade Home Depot off 316 yesterday. I got stopped out. I'll show you where I got stopped out. If I zoom in here. So I got in, I think, right around this 1020 area, right around here. And the reason I got in is because it was the 316 break and retest, right? So if I go to the 4-hour chart, I don't know if you guys remember, I was trying to trade this 316 break and retest. You can see previous rejections. We came back down to it. And in the morning yesterday, we held it very nicely. So I saw this hold and I said, okay, hold on. We might be able to get a little push off this demand. And I got in looking for this break here. Now, what happened with me is that Apple news came out during my trade. And I think it was right around here, and I got stopped out. So that Apple news that sort of caused the market to react caused me to get stopped out on Home Depot, which I am happy that I did. It was a little trade, tried to take it here, but stopped out. But Home Depot, watch this 316 area. Enphase, I am definitely getting interested here. There's the 4-hour chart, guys. I'm in puts. I'm in some January puts, looking for downside on Enphase. I like this. I love this rejection up here. just need that, we just sort of need that switch to flip. We just needed to give up here. I think there will be a time where end phase needs to come back down to this 270. Previous demand down here, I think end phase probably should be to at least 270 here, to this, previous demand, and then we'll see what happens there. But 270, nice rejections on end phase at 325. I'm watching that. What's TSM been up to? TSM's doing nothing, sort of stuck in there. XLE's holding that 90. So energy sort of strong this morning. CVX is holding up. XOM sort of holding up as well. So watch those energy names. Yeah, Coinbase is still stuck below that previous rejection point. So you guys can see right here, our previous support. Previous support on coin into rejections. That 45, 46 level still there. Etsy. Not a big fan of Etsy's intraday action. It's very illiquid, but yeah, it's holding up pretty well. Just watch out for this top around 123, 125. Did I miss anything else that's big? I don't think so. Let's go ahead and jump into the ticker form. If you guys could take 1 second. We only have 200 likes on the live stream. I'd appreciate if we could pump that number up, pump the stock. That would be much appreciated. Does anyone here watch Wednesday on Netflix? Absolutely awesome show, in my opinion. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I love the way the actress is. She's very dry humor, very it's very interesting. You guys should watch it. It's a good show. She's also from the show You. If you guys are familiar with the show You, she's in that show as well. Yeah, great show. All right, let's go. So I wanted to bring that up, right? I actually wanted to bring this up on the stream. I forgot about this. I don't understand why people are so bearish on Netflix. Netflix breaks its own record every single time it makes a show. I mean, Netflix, every single time Netflix comes out with a new hit show, where they're focused on it, it breaks all the records. Netflix continues to break records every single time they come out with a show. This show broke its record. It broke the record from Stranger Things, right? So I don't get it, right? I'm gonna continue to buy Netflix shares, and I'm just gonna ignore the noise. If I'm seeing Netflix breaking its records every single time it comes out with a show, and it's beating now Stranger Things record, which was huge, I just have to be bullish on buying some shares down here, in my opinion. I'm going to try to focus on the company side of it. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I think Netflix is doing a lot better than what people think. I think it's going to do well into the future. I think they do a fantastic job at making content. I'm always on Netflix. They make great shows. Like right here, everyone's watching the show on Netflix. It's not going anywhere, right? And I think this is opportunity, right? So that's why I've continued to buy Netflix. I have been for a very long time, right? I've been buying since down here. I've been buying this whole way higher, but I'm going to continue to buy. So just wanted to bring that up. I saw that yesterday. I was like, damn, man, Netflix is just, they really are doing, in my opinion, they do pretty damn well. But obviously some problems going on with the market or on the business side of things, but I think they'll figure that out. Yeah, I mean, you're like 1 out of a million though, Nathan. Like people are just gonna pay the Netflix price. It's there's always gonna be those people that try to find it online without paying $10 a month or whatever it is. But I would say about 80% of people are just gonna pay that $10 a month. But yeah, there is saturation in the streaming platform, but I think I'm feeling Netflix can be one of the ones that come out on top with just the overall content creation of Netflix just is I think it's the best by far. All right, let's go. Sorry about that little tangent. We'll get going. Sorry, but I just wanted to make that take that argument here in the chat. Not argument, but just sort of conversation. I like Netflix. CRM, watch out for the 160. Very strict, very clean rejection there at 150. I don't know what 5 is. 5 below. I mean, maybe this little area here. It's sort of rejecting. You can see the previous lows here turning into a rejection. 5 below has earnings. I know whoever is this is the same guy that does this every time. They put the stocks that have earnings. Snow is very weak after earnings, I believe. Or is earnings? Okay, earnings is coming up. We have another earnings one. SPLK. Earnings gone. PDD. Okay, PDD is moving higher again with this whole the old Asian market moving higher. So that was a big break on that was actually a huge break there on big break on PDD of 75. So yeah, I would watch this for if you want to get sort of risky here. Obviously, this is a risky name, but if you want to get risky, watch that 75 push. That's a big push on PDD. JD, another Asian market name. Yeah, I would watch up to this 62. That's a big rejection point at 62. And then BABA. I don't like anything about BABA. BABA, you guys, I mean, you have to understand, right, guys? You get involved with these stocks, you are going to be involved with gap ups and gap downs. That's all. It's all gap ups and gap downs. So that's I don't like BABA to trade intraday. But if I had to, I'd watch this 85 right here. 85 in the 100 SMA. That's what I'd watch out for in BABA. That could be a very big rejection. Okay? Yeah, I know you guys saw Target. Target was a nice... Target's sort of trying to fill its gap. So Target could be on a little gap fill. It could be on the journey to fill the gap. But yeah, Target's been sort of holding up lately. It's not very clean, but it is sort of nice if you caught it off these lows. It's just sort of sideways, but maybe you have some movement here towards the gap fill 175 area. Yeah, I'd watch that. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I got to head over to the chat. I got to post some charts for the chat. So if you guys want to come hang out in there, you can check it out down below. It says Trade Live with me. If you want to get the technical analysis on the futures, you can get that. It says Free Technicals. It looks like we are still sort of weak here. A little bit. Nothing crazy, but let's see. We'll see what happens today, guys. Hope everyone has a great day. If you could press that like button before you head out, that would be fantastic. I'd very much appreciate that. I appreciate you guys being here, always coming to the live streams, having 1,300 listen to me talking to myself in my house every day. It's I try to not think about it because it's very strange, but I feel like I am actually talking to people when you guys are here, so I appreciate that. And yeah, good luck today. Please be careful of the economic news. You still have news at 10 a.m. You still have Jerome Powell at 1:30. If you're busy today, if you got some chores to do, maybe it's a good day to take the day off. Maybe it's a good day to just be careful with the economic data, see if there's any type of real continuation move rather than trying to trade volatility over news. Class dismissed. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. And have a fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.